So the quarantines, the shutdowns, and the lack of socialization is impacting everybody mentally. And now we are towards the end of July. Schools are set to open up in 3 weeks, and they're already getting delayed. A lot of parents don't know what they're going to do with their kids or how they're going to even approach online learning. And I say all this because it spells a huge opportunity for somebody willing to sweat and start a business. So I have a lot of wealthy friends. I have a lot of people who are upper middle class, and they have kids that are in elementary and high school, and they're about to lose their minds because they've spent 4 months now inside with their kids. And there was a light at the end of the tunnel. There was school opening back up in August, September, and now it's looking like that's probably not going to happen, at least in a lot of places. So there is going to be a massive demand for online tutoring or intimate teaching settings. And what I mean by intimate teaching settings is a small group of maybe even one student or a group of 5 students that kind of co-learn together with one teacher. I think education is about to get revolutionized. High school education, the public school system is not going to do well at interacting with this entire debacle. So a lot of parents, especially wealthy parents, are going to lean on their own resources to teach their kids. And that spells a huge opportunity for anybody who has experience tutoring, who has maybe a desirable resume. Maybe you went to an Ivy League school or a good school, or maybe you've got a couple grad degrees. Anybody who can effectively teach and lead and guide students, either online on your computer or in an intimate setting, has a huge opportunity right now. Here at UGA, we have this, I say we, they have a summer launch program where they get small businesses up and ramping up. And my buddy, Jim Flannery, who came on the podcast, runs that. He's really excited about one entry in particular. It is a UGA student who launched an online space camp. It's an online space camp, and he charges, I have no idea, maybe $60 or $100 for a 1-hour session to get on the computer with him in a group. He's got 5 or 10 kids, maybe even more at this point, on Zoom with him, and he is showing PowerPoints and teaching them about space and showing them videos and talking them through it. The kids are loving it because it's interesting. It's a lot more interesting than what they do in school. And the people who are really loving it are the parents, because not only does it occupy their kids and get them out of the, from screaming and fighting with each other and just going nuts inside the house, it teaches them, it engages them, and it's adding value to their kids' lives. So this kid is absolutely crushing it. He's doing several $1,000s a week in online space camps on Zoom. Phenomenal, right? And right now, if you want to start a business and over the next 6 months make really good money, I would suggest you do some online tutoring or in-person tutoring. You can make the decision on that. But what I'm going to suggest is go online, set up a website. If you want to use the sponsor of the show, there's Launch Kits. It's launchkits.com/sweaty. They'll get you a website. They'll get you a Google My Business phone number, Google My Business location, and get you all set up online to accept reservations, accept payments. It's $450. And if you use the code SWEATY when you're checking out, you get that $50 off to make it $450. But basically, launchkits.com/sweaty. Or you can build your own website on WordPress. You can get your own Google voice phone number to interact with your clients. You can use your own means to kind of get your name out there. But what I would do if it was my business is I would send mailers, or, I know knocking on doors right now is not really appropriate, but maybe door hangers is. I would go around middle class, upper class neighborhoods, find the $300,000 to $500,000 houses, and go door to door, hang a flyer on the door, put something in the mailbox all day long about online tutoring, online teaching, and you're going to have massive success getting some early clients. I would reach out to schools. I would reach out to parents groups. I would put posts on Facebook, just in your own network. I bet you can find people. And look, there is no geographical limit to who you can teach, who you can tutor, how many kids you can get involved with. So Facebook ads, online ads, content marketing, SEO, posting in forums, I would post on Facebook Marketplace. I would post on Craigslist. I would post in the Facebook groups that because parents use Facebook, and honestly, you're not marketing to the students, you are marketing to the parents. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would go around and I would get that stuff, and I would offer tutoring in math, science, whatever interests you, whatever you're good at. And if you are a licensed teacher and you're considering leaving your job, if you don't want to deal with the in-person teaching, you don't want to deal anymore with online learning the way the public school system organizes it, going out on your own right now as a teacher and getting a group of, maybe offer an intimate group of 5 to 10, maybe 10's too many, but if you got 5 students who want to have an intimate group, and when I say intimate, I mean there's just not a lot of social interaction as far as risk of COVID is concerned, you could show up at a house. The house could rotate with the same 5 students and teach them the entire semester curriculum and charge these parents at least $1,000 per student per month, which if you do some basic math here, a 6-month semester, you're looking at $5,000 a month times 6, you're looking at $30,000 in revenue that you could make on your own, teaching the kids in a lot less stressful environment, a lot more control of what's going on. Now, a few thoughts on education in general for me. I have a 3-year-old. It's a little bit different than a high schooler who needs to go through a full curriculum. My 3-year-old, I would love to pay a specialized teacher to come into my house for 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day, and the rest of the time have a unskilled kind of babysitter type playmate, somebody who's going to get them out, play with them, interact with them, get them outside. That could be used to group. So this could be like a childcare teaching hybrid where it's a specialty worker goes from, teaching. A specialty teacher can teach these kids for 2 or 3 hours a day instead of the full 8, because you really don't need 8 hours of direct teaching for a young elementary school or preschool student. But there's some exciting moves that can be made here. I'm really excited to see what the entrepreneurs do in the education space. And if you want to carve out your piece, online learning, online education, online tutoring, it's the place to go. It is going to be a booming place. I mean, already my friends are talking about how they're having trouble securing online tutors. They're having trouble securing resources for their kids. And if I know anything about kids and about students, it's that parents will pay whatever it takes to make their children better off. I ran track and field in college, and I was very blessed to have a ton of parents reach out to me about track and field training. They wanted to pay for their kids to come and get one-on-one lessons with me to learn how to high jump or long jump or shot put. And I had great luck with that. If I would have stuck with that, I could be running big track camps now and have a career out of training folks to do track and field. And what I've learned is that parents are not very price sensitive when it comes to getting their kids better off at sports or better off at school. So you can charge a very fair price. You can basically name your price now, because there's just such a shortage of people doing this stuff and such a huge demand when these students are going to be stuck in this house, because parents cannot work their full-time jobs and also guide their students in online learning. And that's going to be the case in a lot of places. California, all public schools done in the fall. Who is going to organize these kids? Who's going to babysit these kids? Childcare in general, just in-home childcare, is going to be an extremely lucrative job for the next 6 months or longer, depending on how long this COVID stuff lasts. But in my opinion, a great opportunity. A couple housekeeping notes. If you haven't been to thesweatystartup.com, I just revamped the website. The guys at Launch Kits did it, if you want an example. Also 30 plus people have used Launch Kits now, which is phenomenal. Those guys are adding a ton of value. But on my website, I have a newsletter. So not only all the articles that I talk about on the podcast, I have a newsletter where I send it out once a month or once every couple of weeks with a new business idea, with some things I'm thinking about, with some ways that you can improve your business. And I have over 2,500 people on that newsletter, And it's just a great way to stay connected to me, even if you don't tune into the podcast every week. Another thing is the online or the business coaching that I'm doing right now. I have 2 full-time clients now who do the monthly package. I have several more who've gotten one-off consulting calls with me, and every one of them is getting a ton of value out of it. They're really enjoying it, and we have one guy who's running a business that is really about to kind of explode with some new things and growing to new markets and maybe even acquiring a competitor here in the next couple of months. So we're really excited about all that stuff. If you are interested in the consulting services, we do a monthly package where you get 2 45-minute phone calls a month with me, as well as unlimited text messaging back and forth with me. We kind of maintain a to-do list together. We do accountability stuff where I'm really going to hold you to what you decide is best for you to do to grow your business. But if you're interested in that stuff, email me, nick@sweatystartup.com. As always, thank you guys for watching this. If you're tuning in on YouTube, thanks for listening. And if you're at the podcast, and as always, keep working hard. And right now things are changing. There's going to be a ton of opportunity popping up out of nowhere. So keep your ear to the ground and get out there and sweat.